Hello, everybody. It's Andrea here, also known as Real Tired Mama, and I am here with my dear friend Leah from Balanced Life with Leah. She is a health coach, and she's here to talk to us a little bit about what she does and who she's working with, because I'm sure there are a lot of you out there that are thinking, what is a health coach and why do I need one? So let's have it, Leah. What is your definition of a health coach?
My definition, well, I think it's easier if I explain what is it that I do rather than, because I don't really know what the strict definition is. I used to know, but I totally forgot. But I can at least explain what it is that I do. So I work with people one-on-one, most on an individualized basis, and I help them figure out what their specific health concerns are, and I help them work through it. So I specialize in helping people with intuitive eating, any sort of digestive concerns, stress and anxiety is a big one, sleep and energy levels. I get a lot of clients that come to me with like autoimmune or anti-inflammatory diseases, and they just need like symptom management help or a way to like decrease their symptoms. So I work closely with them and helping them do that. So what I do is I take my clients, on a personal level on a 6-month journey. So what we do during that 6 months is basically like a deep dive in their lives. So I'll go through everything from their what they eat every day, to their relationships, to their home life, to their work life, everything, whatever they want to talk about. And the reason for that is most people's health concerns, 9 times out of 10, have nothing to do with what they're eating, right? That seems to be the easy fix, is I'll just fix what I'm eating and I'll be cured of whatever, right? But 9 times out of 10, it's not what they're eating. It's something specific in their life that's triggering their specific health concern, whether it's the inability to lose weight or symptom flare-ups or whatever their issue concern is. So I work with them closely in figuring out what that specific thing is, and then we work together to fix it, manage it, figure out a way to overcome it, right? So for example, I had a client, she came to me with, she had, this anti-inflammatory disease that was painful. So we worked together and we figured out it was triggered by her digestion being off. Her digestion was being triggered by a stress. The stress was being triggered by relationships in her life. You know what I mean? So we literally had to work backwards to figure out what that was. The moment she figured out how to fix the relationship issue, her stress decreased, her digestion was fixed, her symptoms went down. You know what I mean? It was literally like a domino effect, really in like a course of like 3 months too. I mean, we stayed together for 6 months and we did even more work from there, but we saw like a drastic transformation in just a short time. So the reason I like to do 6 months is because I'm working so closely with people and I'm really working, we're talking about life stuff all the time. And I don't want to overhaul people's lives overnight because that's not sustainable. I want to work with you for at least 6 months because then I get to really see life stuff with you and we can work through it together and we can increment small changes over time that is sustainable for you after the 6 months. I always tell my clients, I don't want to see you after 6 months. My goal is at 6 months, you have the tools, you know what to do. When we're done working together, you can take what we did together, what we learned together, and you can do it on your own. Because most people want to figure it out on their own, right? They just want, what is wrong with me? How can I fix it? And then have the ability to do that, right? So that's my job, is to figure it out with you. We figure out how to deal with it. And then after the 6 months, you have the tools in place to do it on your own, right? And that's the goal with everybody. And 6 months, I mean, time goes by so fast. It once, it's a blip in time, really. But it's so amazing to see from the day one when we first start to the 6 months, such the transformation. Like, people's lives are so different in 6 months, right? I've seen people do complete 180s and just everything. They have a whole new career. I've seen it. You know what I mean? Their whole new relationship, they've seen it. Because literally their thinking changes in 6 months, right? Which is also a big thing. What we do is personal development, motivation, confidence along the way. So their thinking is different. Their energy is different. Like I'm always like looking at people, even through screens, I'm like, I can see like you're lighter. Like you know what I mean? Your energy just feels lighter. And that's always like I feel so like grateful that people entrust me with their this journey because it's I'm always like, I can't believe you're like this person now. Like it's really, really cool. But that's basically, I mean, that was a big spiel what a health coach is, but that's basically what I do as a health coach for my clients.
That's awesome. I also forgot to mention to everybody that Leah and I are doing life together between being moms of little kids,
Yeah.
really little kids, and sometimes struggling with energy levels and making sure we're, keeping the family healthy and building those healthy foundations for us and for our families, and still taking care of numero uno, us, because as you know, Leah, like we can't pour from an empty cup. It's just not possible.
No, it's hard. Being a mom is hard.
Yes. Yes, it is. And we both do it with style and grace, even on the ugly days. Um, so you and I have definitely had some conversations as of late, over like the past almost a year it's been, where I have been dealing with some health issues, primarily like feeling drained and exhausted all the time, outside of just being a mom of three kids that are 21 and a half months apart. For those of you who don't know, I have a he's now 4-year-old son and twin daughters who turned 2 in February. There is a 21 and a half month gap between those guys. And it's tough. It's tough. I mean, you have just over a 2-year gap, correct, between your two littles?
Yeah, so I have a 2.5-year-old and I have a 10-week-old. So yeah, I feel
We get it. So we've had this conversation primarily about me and like what is going on with my body. I will spare everybody like the uber boring details that you and I have gone into depth about blood work and doctors and counseling and all that kind of fun stuff. And I would love for you to kind of take me through what you would do with your initial visit with a potential client or client.
Yeah, of course. So when I first meet people, all my initial consultations are free because I just want to have like an initial chit chat with people to see where you're at, see what your concerns are, and also just see if we're a fit personality wise too, because obviously we're gonna have a very close relationship for the next 6 months. So a lot of what we talk about is just basic health history stuff. Tell me about your life, tell me what your concerns are, blah blah blah. Right. I also ask for like your day-to-day food too, because sometimes it's helpful to see that too. So for Andrea, obviously I'm not going to go through everything with you, but so we'll streamline it a little bit. So what your main health concern really is ultimately what?
Exhaustion, just energy level not being there.
So what would you think this exhaustion is keeping you from doing?
Keeping up with all the everyday stuff that I want to do, between exercise. I mean, I exercise almost every single day. And I can get through my workouts usually pretty well, but by lunchtime, I'm exhausted and I don't want to do anything. And that's not fair to my kids.
Mm.
I just don't have the energy to do things with them, or, later in the evening to do things with my husband all the time. So it's affecting everyday life for sure.
So if this exhaustion was fixed, what would you be doing differently?
I would feel more present with, my kids, my family, and things that I'm doing, and be living my purpose a little bit more, and my message of, I am a real tired mom and I don't want to be there. I want to have that energy to, do all the fun things and um, be there for everybody around me.
What's your purpose?
My, I believe that my purpose is helping other moms recognize their, greatness and worth and a whole laundry list of amazing things through running. So, like, I coach women to get running and moving so that they can start putting themselves first.
So how's your sleep?
My sleep is okay.
Mhm.
Um, I generally get, when kids don't wake me up in the middle of the night, yay, kids, um, between 7 and 8 hours of sleep. Um, I have been tracking my sleep with my schmancy watch, which has been very interesting. I would say my quality of sleep is not where I want it to be. Quantity is, quality is not.
Can you explain that? What kind of sleep are you looking for?
A
What are you
deeper,
missing?
that deeper that deep and REM sleep. I've been noticing through tracking it. It's just I spend a lot of time in that light stage of sleep,
Mhm.
and I'm not really getting into the deep stuff, which I know is the restorative stuff.
So walk me through like your evening routine, like the last like hour or two before bed.
Let's see. Kids are usually down by a little after 8. I spend, it varies.
Mhm.
Excuse me. I was trying to not have that burp happen this time. Because we're recording. Um, kids are usually down by 8:15, we'll say. Um, my husband and I do a little bit cleanup, whatever's left, whether it's a little bit of vacuuming, do that. Um, and then sometimes we'll like watch a quick show, and we're usually done with the TV by like 9 o'clock.
Mhm.
And then we're upstairs getting ready for bed, usually no screens. Um, just like taking that time to calm down, read a little, just bring everything down.
Do you find you fall asleep easily?
Most nights.
Walk me through your morning routine.
Morning routine. That's always a fun one. My alarm goes off at about 5. And on good days when I feel like I've gotten a lot of restful sleep, I hit the snooze button just once. And I do that because I take some time to like focus on some breathing, try to meditate a little
Mhm.
and, set an intention for the day.
Mhm.
And then I get up after that first snooze on a good day. Occasionally I hit it a few times. Um, and then I go work out, whatever is on my schedule or my calendar for the day. Um, and then after my workout, I'll get a cup of coffee and sit down, read and journal. And usually by then the kids are up and I'm trying to get a post out.
Do you find you have trouble waking up?
Yes, definitely.
So do you think you're getting enough sleep?
Probably not. Part of me thinks that I'm not getting quite enough sleep, which is something that after this marathon training, which this will come out after I run my marathon, and hopefully I will be getting, taking the time to get more sleep and seeing if that makes a difference to get, 8+ hours of sleep.
So what is causing you from getting 8 hours of sleep now? Just the marathon or is there something else?
I, well, one, I'm usually in bed by 10 o'clock,
Mhm.
almost every single night. And then I love getting up before my kids and getting stuff done. So for me, my kids are up between like 7 and 7:30. So like getting the workout in and the reading and the journaling before they all get up, that's usually like an hour and a half, can be up to an hour and a half process. So I get up that early so that I can get that stuff done without them. Does it always happen? No. But that is the reason, I think that's why I'm waking up so early, is to get all that stuff in.
Okay. Well, I could keep asking you questions, but I know we're limited on time. But all right, so one final thing though before we go. So from what I'm hearing from you is you feel that you're not getting quality sleep because you're not getting that REM sleep, you don't believe, from your tracking, and that you want more energy during the day to do all the things, right? The job, the kids, all the things. So real quick, I want you to close your eyes. I want you to picture yourself sleeping really, really well. You wake up feeling super refreshed. You don't need to hit your alarm. How many times you hit your alarm clock? Um, and the day is easy. Well, easy with 3 kids, but I mean that you don't feel like you have to have coffee. You have the energy. You can get through the day, clear head, not drowsy. So I want you to picture yourself in that place. And what does that feel like? You don't have to tell me, but just internalize what that day feels like for you. Now, what is different about your day?
Besides having more energy
Mhm.
and
Just give me
getting more things done and being able to be present and play with my kids and do things with them, um, without resorting to, sitting in front of a show because I'm just too tired to move.
What do you think you would be if you were more present for your kids without having to watch TV? What do you think your day would look like?
Less stressful, less less putting out fires because I'm able to be more attentive to them.
Do you feel any different?
A little.
How so?
Feel lighter, slightly more energized right now, but that could be the caffeine from this morning.
Okay, thank you, Andrea. So at the end of that, I would basically, I would ask you, well, together we can work on getting to that place. I want you to have those days you just envisioned. I want them to become a reality. So if you would like to work, hypothetically, one on one, I know this is just a practice session, but so theoretically, I would ask you, would you be interested in working together so I can get you to that place in 6 months from now? So you can be more present for your kids. So it's easier to put out fires because I know how hard it is with 3 toddlers. I have one, I can only imagine 3. You know what I mean? To be able to have more of a clear head, put out the fires for toddlers, be able to be energized throughout your day, be able to sleep, feel like you slept throughout the day. I want to make that happen for you. So would you entrust me in going through that journey with you?
Well, you already know that the answer is that yes, from me always, because we do life together. Even
Good.
though we're a few hundred miles apart, we still do life together. Um,
But that's it.
yeah, thank you. That was so much. That was really helpful. Um, and I know you and I are going to keep having conversations about this. Um, so what do you have going on in, the realm of balanced life with Leah?
So other than my one-to-one coaching, which is obviously ongoing, I do weekly Wednesday webinars, which are totally free. All you have to do is sign into my Facebook groups. My Facebook group, I have one. And I do a Facebook Live every Wednesday evening. I just kind of sit here in my office and blah, blah, blah for like 15 minutes about things that I might think that people might find interesting, helpful. Sometimes I get into more like sciencey stuff because even though I'm certified as a holistic health coach, I actually have a background in chemistry. My previous life, I was a chemist in industry for like 10 years. So I actually bridge those two worlds together in my weekly webinars where I kind of bring like the science pieces of specific things like nutrition or whatever I'm thinking about at that moment, or whatever else people want to like honestly know about. Like I'll talk about anything. Whatever people want to know, I'll talk about it. But I like to do lives because I like the informality of it, and I like to get that instant feedback and comments and questions from people because I like to kind of just talk to people. So that's why I like to do lives. I also do a couple of times a year a 2-week crash course in nutrition, which the next one I want to do probably, I thought about doing the spring, but it's probably gonna be more like early summer, like June-ish. Because obviously I got a 10-week-old, so I'm trying to figure out scheduling a little bit. But this is a really fun class, and I call it Learn to Eat because the whole goal of the class is for people to learn how to eat again. Because for whatever reason, most people have no idea how to feed themselves. They're always reaching for like that specific diet or the food or whatever, because ultimately they don't know what to do, right? So what I've done is I've designed a 2-week crash course, and I go over literally what happens after you eat food. So we talk about what happens to carbs after you eat it, what happens to fat, proteins, whatever, how your body digests it, what your body actually is doing with it, what happens to it after you digest it. And I've noticed that having that information, knowing the chemistry behind nutrition, and along the way, I also do exercises to get people thinking about their food choices, thinking about why they're making those food choices. So together, I really bridge them in a way where when you're done, and again, it's like a 2-week crash course, you will learn by having those two, what do I want to say, like things that my brain's crapping out, but having the knowledge of food with the holistic element, you're able to really on your own think about choices in a much different way. Like literally like light bulbs start going off, like, oh, I'm reaching for this because of this, blah, blah, you know what I mean? So that's really my way of teaching intuitive eating, kind of like a roundabout way. Like I promote it as a nutrition course, but at the end of the day, my goal is to kind of teach people how to eat for themselves without the stress, but also still getting what they want from it, which is usually like weight loss or whatever, right? So that's really ultimately the goal at the end. And I taught this class on a university level for like 6 years to university students, and the class was really literally called Chemistry of Nutrition, but I have built it in a way where I've not just taught the chemistry, I taught the holistic piece. So I merged the two together, and what I've done with my 2-week online course is I've kind of picked like the best pieces of it, right? So you're not getting like the whole 3-month course, you're getting like the best parts. Right? I see a kid
And in true fashion, we're getting Zoom bombed here by these 3 little partial reasons why I am exhausted all of the time. Okay, give me like 5 minutes and I'll play Hui for you. Okay. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. No, don't hit buttons. So yeah, that is amazing. And this is why you are my nutrition person, where I'm like, my go-to person when I'm like, okay, why am I doing this? What is the purpose behind this? And it's helping me explain it to, clients, whether it's, just, my reset and run client or my 30 days to healthy living clients through Arbonne. That's literally how Leah and I met. We met through Arbonne, which is amazing. And like, you know, I'm like, why are we not doing this? And why is this versus this? But yeah, you and I have had conversations about that. And before we, I'm getting can you handle one? Can you handle one? We're gonna have a little guest.
Well,
We have a little guest for the last few minutes where so you've got your one-on-one coaching, you've got your crash course in nutrition a few times a year. Where else can people find you? Pimp yourself out. What's the, best way to set up those, free consultation visits?
yeah, so I'm on Instagram. I also you can always message me directly. I know Andrea can list my Instagram. You can also list the Facebook group that I would encourage a lot of people to join, because that's when you'll get more access to me. Those are my free webinars are at. And on my website, you can see more about my coaching programs, really everything. You can also see more of the nutrition class as well. And from there, you can either schedule it directly with me, or you can just contact me and we can obviously discuss things further too. So my
Perfect.
website or Instagram is fine.
Yeah. So don't worry, everybody. The things will be in the notes in the description, but everywhere you're pretty much at Balanced Life with Leah, correct?
Yeah, that's my
Easy.
handle everywhere. Easy.
Nice. Well, Leah, thank you so much for joining this with me. It was so much fun. You and I are obviously going to keep doing these because, we work, you're my nutrition person and I'm getting people to, put themselves first. And part of that is building the healthy foundations, which is nutrition.
Well,
We both don't like that D word. We're just that's like a 4-letter word
nope.
we don't like to use. So yes, thank you so much for doing this. And
Thanks for having me.
it was wonderful. I can't wait to do something with you on your platforms.
Definitely, me too. I'm excited.
But stay tuned for that. Have a wonderful day and we will chat soon.